206 acres just north of Upper Red Lake. This is an epic property that we have for sale here at Wilco Land. What we do is we buy and sell raw land. We're trying to create visibility to these properties and create more of a self-service model. So in this video, I'm going to cover some FAQs in this video. And the main thing I'm going to talk about is access to this property. So stay tuned. Getting you started, we've got a description here, 200 plus acres up in northern Minnesota in Beltrami County. This is actually adjacent to wildlife management area. So everything to the north of the property is a wildlife management area. This would be a world-class hunting and recreational property, and we've got it priced as a recreational property as well. So jumping into my favorite app, Onyx Maps. So I'm going to jump right into access here and talk about how to access something like this, because we do have our, if you want to view the property, it's going to be on your own. So I'm going to go over what I see in access, and I'm going to start with my favorite app. It's Onyx Maps. So I'm just going to pull up the GPS coordinates here. You can see the property is right here. It's this Service Carroll property that we just purchased. So one access route is going to be a snowmobile trail as indicated from Onyx Maps here. And this snowmobile trail actually starts from the lake, Upper Red Lake. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So you can snowmobile in there. It also goes through, there's trails and there's maps out there. And you can get on like a map from the state of Minnesota. All these snowmobile trails are going through this wildlife management area. So there's over 100,000 acres of Red Lake wildlife management area adjacent to the north of the property. So you've got really great hunting and recreation. And the Department of Forestry is up here too. So let me get back into, so we've got Onyx Maps showing this from a bird's eye view. We've got Upper Red Lake. We've got these snowmobile trails that go back there. There's also like a 2-track that goes back there too. And I'm going to pull open the listing quick to show you. I've drawn this out. So you can see that here's a snowmobile trail, and this trail actually continues on that wildlife management area. So state land, that's publicly accessible. I share it here in my description as well. So this is actually publicly accessible land to the north. So hiking access, 4-wheel access, snowmobile access, that's all there. There's also this road going from east to west. It's like a dirt trail or property. I don't know if there's an easement there, so I'm not going to stand here and claim there's an easement, but there's a trail, and I'll show you here on Google Earth, that goes into the property. Here's another chunk of the property too. So it is split here, but you can see this is a road that goes to the corner of this lot. This road continues all the way to this track here, and it continues. You can see that this road, as I zoom in, goes east to west and is being traveled, whether it's by DNR or what, but this road goes east to west, and we're going to run into Highway 89, it appears almost. I don't know if you can access it from right there. We can take a peek probably and see if that road continues all the way there. It looks like it does not. So at some point, this access road that I'm talking about veers up to the north, and it looks like that's all wetlands. So just walking you through this, let me get you facing north again. So Highway 89, so there is some sort of access to the north up here, it looks like. Here's your access off 42. And this road meanders. It's a snowmobile trail. So I don't know, can you take ATVs on it? Can you hike on it? I don't know all the rules before making this video on that. So if you know, comment in the videos. I'd love to hear what your options are to access this snowmobile across, what is state land. Then you can see it shoots down to the south here. So we have this price as like a hunting recreational land investment, right? We have this price with these access challenges in mind. And really there's a lot of promising features showing access here. This road connects right here very easily to a main road. You can see the snowmobile trail is right there, crossing this bridge. Yeah, really cool. So it's being traveled. I don't know how much car traffic it gets. Blanchard Trail Northeast. So I don't know how much vehicle traffic this is getting, but it runs along the north end of the lake, and you can access it. I mean, this road is accessible. You'll have to talk to the state or the county, maybe DNR, maybe wildlife management. Can I get an easement to access this property? If that's the case, the value of this with an easement on paper, skyrockets 5 to 10x of what we're asking for the property. So right now, a little bit of a gray area when it comes to access from this route. I don't have a any sort of fancy piece of paper showing you that you have an easement from these ways. You'll have to contact the state, maybe wildlife management, like I said, DNR, and talk about those access options. So in a worst case scenario, you're looking at hiking access, snowmobile access, maybe some sort of ATV or UTV to go access a property. The property looks fairly thin. I think it's because it's such a big piece of land. It's actually over 200 yards wide. Let me take out a ruler here and give you guys an idea or measure the width of the property is over 200 yards wide. You can see I'm measuring that. So, that's huge. That's over 2 football fields wide. So you still have a ton of land to access and a ton of land to use out here. So, if anybody has a drone that wants to get out there and take photos for us, let me know. We'll pay you for that. We'd love to get somebody out there, scope out the road conditions, scope out the drone imagery, and scope out the property. So that's a main thing. I mean, we really advertise in here what we consider a recreational land investment, kind of a hunting oasis. And here is interactive snowmobile trails. You can actually get online and find all these. You can see everything to the north of our property. Our property is right in here. You can see it just this line. Everything to the north is public land. So, and I talk about access here in a summary in the listing, a few access opportunities, right? You can work with the state to get an easement. You can work because it's surrounded by public land there. So one is from a snowmobile trail that crosses a property. That's very clear. Upper Red Lake, yada, yada, over, 125,000 acres of Minnesota wildlife management area. So there's also that dirt road that runs east to west and meanders up through that northern access point. So, maybe an ATV, a 4-wheeler, even a truck. This access route, it's unverified. I don't know the restrictions around using it. So like I said, inquire with the state about that. Over the long run, you could look into an easement. However, it is, that land to the north is publicly accessible. Minnesota residents can access that. So I created some access points in a folder here that you can go through and look at for your benefit. So just showing some of the photos that I'm sharing here. And you can see an interactive map if you click here at a view of the Minnesota snowmobile trails, just north of Upper Red Lake. So it's over 125,000 acres appear to be the wildlife management area. So if you zoom in here, we're just north of Bemidji and Upper Red Lake, pretty easily identifiable. You can kind of meander through some of that public land and some of those public trails. So that's what we're listing here. We're using GPS coordinates to access. We're using apps like Onyx Maps. Get with me if you're interested in taking photos. Thanks for taking a peek at this property. I do have a lot of other Minnesota land investments on the website right now, anywhere from lakefront property up in Big Fork, Minnesota, to 45 acres north of Duluth and Chisholm. So again, Miles at Wilco Land, 605-299-5553. Thanks for viewing.